Working Fans Podcast. Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Coming down 3, 2.
Welcome back for another week of the Working Fans Podcast. This is AJ. I'm the former wrestler. We've got Dave, the ultimate fan, here with us. As we do every week, our producer Joe likes to make us sound good and makes us look way more professional than we actually are. As always, you can find us on Twitter, that's @FansWorking, Facebook, Working Fans Pod. We've got email where you can reach out to us and please contact us to let us know what you think of the podcast and for any ideas that you might have. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram where you can keep up with us at workingfanswrestling_pod. And then you can now listen to us on all major platforms, including Anchor.fm. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and you can actually check us out on YouTube. Now, it's important when you go onto the Apple Podcasts and YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, let us know what you think so you can help us out and we can continue to do what we love and bring you guys in as fans. All right, welcome back. We're going to do a 5-3-1 this week. We don't have producer Joe with us. He mailed in his list to us, so we're going to take this one by the horn. It's me, AJ, and I'm going to bring it to you, and we've got Do It To It Dave here. Dave, say hi to the people.
You can go straight to hell, Hulk Hogan.
And this 5-3-1, we're going to do the big one, guys. We all talk about it. Who's got the hops? Who's got the best drop kick in the history of wrestling?
So, a couple things. One, Juicer Joe did not mail in his list, so he's not going to get on there unless he dubs this in, which he might. Don't be surprised. He's sneaky like that. He'll dub his list in.
See, Dave's nicer than I am. I would have just made up a list for him. I was going to say Jake the Milkman Milliman, Dusty Rhodes, King Kong Bundy. I remember when
you had a drop kick.
I remember when Tugboat threw that drop kick, and I'm pretty sure Andre the Giant's one drop kick. I'm pretty sure that was Joe's list.
Of course I got a list, fellas. You guys can't hold me down. My list for the top 5 drop kicks is Bobby Eaton, Marty Jannetty, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, and Mr. Perfect. What?
So one other thing too, funny note about this list, one guy who did not make any of our list here was Mark Jindrak. And it was my first week listening to Talking Shop podcast. And the guest was Mark Jindrak. And I was like, holy shit. Mark had a drop kick where he could, literally guys could be standing on the top rope. He could be standing on the mat and hit you in the chin.
Well, the funny thing is he was also one of the people who could do the drop kick and then land back on his own feet.
Yeah, he was amazing. Awesome drop kick.
Especially considering he was, about 6'5"?
I'm gonna start off a list for you because he's got an interesting one. Jake St. John here has Mr. Perfect, who will be a theme here. Okada, who will be another theme. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and this one is interesting. I had to look it up. Minoru Suzuki, which
wow,
I
good
don't
one.
think of Minoru with drop kicks, but he has kind of a vicious looking drop.
No, he's got one that is delivered. I love drop kicks that look like they're driven through you, like you're actually drop kicking the person. So that's a very good one.
Yeah, Okada's got one like that too, and I hadn't seen Okada's, but Minoru does too. He does, yeah.
Yeah, well, for those of you listening for the first time, Jake's an old friend of ours. We all went to high school together, but he's also an accomplished author, and you should pick up his book on Amazon. Dave, what's the name of that book?
Lost City Highways, I believe.
Absolutely.
I'll have a link on Twitter this week.
If you get a chance to pick that up on Amazon, please pick that up. He's a good friend and a great author.
All right, we got Scott from Valentine, who again has Okada, Lance Storm, a couple favorites here again, Randy Orton, Mr. Perfect, and Moose.
Wow, good list.
Yeah, big drop kick.
I'm a little upset that I don't have Lance Storm on my list now. That is a hell of a list.
Let's go to Zach St. John, Jake's brother, because they usually have a lot of similar people on the list, and I'm seeing Lance Storm, Okada, Dolph Ziggler, Kurt Hennig, and AJ Styles, who probably didn't make this list enough. AJ Styles is a hell of a drop kick.
He does. He has a hell of a drop kick. Once again, Zach being the baby brother of Jake, he's got red hair like Dave, so he doesn't have a soul, but a hell of a nice guy in his own right, and a great list there. AJ Styles, incredibly underrated, great drop kick. Once again, sad I didn't get him on my list, but we can only fit 5 people on the list, for Christ's sakes.
And we're doing this, sometimes we're like, we're forced to do it really quick. So, all right, let's go from AJ to AJ. AJ, what is your list here?
Wow. Okay. So, as we talked about, I did not put Lance Storm or AJ Styles, and I'm regretting both of those. However, I did go classic. I went with one of the great drop kicks of all time, Jumping Jim Brunzell. I mean, the man's name is Jumping Jim. If he didn't have a great drop kick, he would have been screwed over. Got White Lightning, Tim Horner. Tim Horner could deliver a drop kick. He's another one of those guys who it just seemed like he could fly on his drop kick. One of the best technically sound ones I've ever seen, and once again, a person who looked like he was driving it through you, was Mr. Perfect. He always looked like he was jumping up there and just driving his feet through the person. And the difference between him and some of the other guys on the list, once again, is the size bracket. Mr. Perfect a little bit larger than Tim Horner or Jumping Jim Brunzell. Now, speaking of larger guys who throw a great drop kick, my number 4 guy is Billy Gunn. I don't think Billy Gunn gets mentioned enough at being 6'5" and 260 pounds for his athleticism and what he can actually do. But he got great air, and once again, it looked like he was driving those feet through people. My number 5 is, to me, one of the greatest technicians in the history of wrestling, and somebody who I think just doesn't get the recognition he deserves, and that's Brad Armstrong. No matter what incarnation of Brad Armstrong there was, he could throw the picture-perfect drop kick. Always right on the chin, always crisp, never saw him slipping up, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
Now, first off, points for putting Horner and Armstrong on there. I actually just watched the match with the Lightning Express the other day.
Great tag team.
Great tag team.
Underrated.
Randy Oscar's list here. Randy Orton, Bryan, which I'm thinking he means Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. I forgot to check. Dolph Ziggler.
He probably meant Brian Armstrong.
You don't think he meant Bryan Armstrong. AJ Styles. A lot of, lists we're seeing here. AJ Styles is actually on this list a little more than I thought, which is he should be. He's great. And Okada, a reoccurring theme. I'm going to begin my list. Like you, we're the veterans, I think, of this list. We both recognize Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. Awesome drop kick. One guy that nobody else has on here, I have on here. He's not necessarily going to be your favorite wrestler. He was known as a mid-carder. But you're going to agree with me when I say this. Outstanding drop kick, Paul Roma.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's least favorite horseman.
He might not have been your favorite horseman, but he had a hell of a vertical leap. Yeah. Another guy who had a good drop kick down on this list mentioned by me was Bob Holly. Bob Holly had a good leap, and he'd like to knock you out with it too.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, no, great list.
I had most of this list already here. Looking at the votes, we normally narrow it down to 3. I'm going to do a little tournament bracket style here based on who had the most votes. Yeah,
well, let's face it. We don't have to really follow the rules. The guy who likes to follow the rules isn't here this week.
You know what? We got the keys to the house. You know what happens when we run this show. Number 1 mass wrestler of all time. Kane. Not the Ultimate Dragon. Not Rey Mysterio. Kane.
Wait till they see who wins the drop kick.
Yeah.
I should have never gave y'all dudes money.
Well, if you had listened to last week's episode yet, because it dropped today, but me and Joe ended up picking John Cena as the number 1 U.S. champion of all time. So
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm like, he was a great U.S. champion, but number 1?
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't do that one right.
Yeah, I heard that one.
All right, so first round bracket. I got 4 people here in the first round bracket. I got who had the better drop kick, AJ, Mr. Perfect or Dolph Ziggler?
Oh, Jesus. So now here's what we're going to do, or in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler, to me, is almost a copy of Mr. Perfect's drop kick. It's like he watched Mr. Perfect's drop kicks and emulated it. So for me, you got to go with the original one here, because he's clearly trying to pay homage to Mr. Perfect.
Well, so Perfect could just look like he's going to drill you in the face with it, and he had that tremendous stand-in drop kick.
And he's 40 pounds heavier than Dolph Ziggler.
I don't know, but he's definitely. I'm going to agree with you. Now, see if you follow my logic on this one. All right.
I can't wait.
All right, we have AJ Styles versus Okada.
Ooh.
Based on the list we got here, I want to say we had 4 people pick Okada for best dropkick, and AJ Styles had 3. Now, so when we match these 2 up, and you take technique and everything versus each other and styles and how to deliver, I went with AJ Styles because I like him I think that was the way.
Okay, so first off, if we ever start a promotion, and fans, please let us know if this sounds good to you. Yeah. If we ever start a promotion, the first main event I want, AJ Styles versus Okada.
Sign me up.
Now, I'm going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
I like Okada better than AJ. I know you'd think I would go with AJ because I'm an egomaniac and I would go with the guy with my name. But I actually prefer Okada out of the two of them. I think Okada has made such a big splash, and I think the dropkick is much bigger part of his offense than it is AJ's at this point.
Now, you're saying you like Okada better than his dropkick, or do you like Okada the performer overall better as well?
I like Okada as the performer overall.
Man, I feel like you're doing a babyface turn here. You see the fucking ship falling, and you're not gonna go down with me on this one.
Okay, first,
I don't buy that in your heart of hearts. You're a homegrown TNA fan.
First of all, you might think I'm going babyface, or am I just really going heel on you?
Maybe. Here's the ultimate test. Okada versus Mr. Perfect. Who are you picking?
Oh, Christ, I didn't know they were in the same bracket.
That's it. We're going to the finals.
Wait a minute. We forgot Brad Armstrong. We forgot Billy Gunn.
No. We're not doing the whole... I took the top 4 vote getters.
Holy Christ.
You thought you had a little time here to fuck around. You didn't know.
Son of a goat. So it's Okada versus Perfect?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Mr. Perfect all the way.
Well, I do like Okada too. But like I said earlier, I was going to go for AJ Styles because I liked it better. I like Mr. Perfect and I like AJ Styles better. So here we go. Biasness. At the end of the day, this was the perfect 5-3-1.
Well,
you're welcome.
Well, I think you and I can also agree on the simple fact that if there's one wrestler in the history of the WWE that deserved a world championship and didn't get it and got screwed over by the McMahons, it's Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, we would absolutely agree with that. I was a Bret Hart guy, and I would have liked to see Mr. Perfect got one of those world titles.
Those two guys should have headlined the main event at WrestleMania for the world title. If you had a Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect WrestleMania main event for the world title, that would have been the greatest main event in the history of WrestleMania. There, I said it.
No biases here, folks. Mr. Perfect, best dropkick of all time.
Guys,
if you like it, kiss our ass.
Yeah, and if you disagree with us, you know where to find us. We're all over Twitter right now. You can email us, send it in, let us know what you think. And please, keep letting us get your list for the 531 because we love debating with you. We love putting them in there. Joe, we missed you this week. Hopefully you'll be back for next week's. I mean, your list was horrible this week. It was trash with all those big fat guys that can't throw a drop kick. But we love you, brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
Later. All right, man.
I thought that went well. Guys, thank you for listening to the 531 here on YouTube this week. If you like what you hear, you can always find us on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and on the Apple Podcast where you can subscribe and also give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate you listening. We want your feedback, 531, and if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we also want you to let us know. And let us know what your 531 would be. Come up with a top 5 and let us know, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. And in order for us to do that, please contact us on Twitter. We're at Fans Working. Facebook page, Working Fans Wrestling Pod. Email workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. It's very important that you actually contact us on these platforms because we want this to be your interactive place to talk wrestling.